Hip hop.
Rap. Money.
We don't control it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna leave it with that. All right. This is a little localized, but would also make a national police stops or stop and frisk.
Profile.
Being black.
I'm going to ask you to answer Dr. Madhubiti, because what are the essential things that every black man or every black boy and brown and boy should have in their pocket?
There are 3 documents you need to carry with you at all times. One is a lawyer's card or a legal aid card. All right? 2 is a library card. And 3 is a small copy of the Constitution. So if you are stopped in the black community, somebody, these Neanderthal cops throw you up against the wall and start searching you, and they find your lawyer card and say, well, what is this? That's my lawyer. Why are you searching me? Then they can keep searching you and got a library card. What are you doing with this library card? Well, I read. I'm a student. I read. Then they go and keep searching you and find a copy of the Constitution. What are you doing with this Constitution? I'm a citizen. And why are you stopping me, man? And can I call my lawyer? You know what I'm saying? So these are 3 documents you should all just carry with you. I don't know if you don't even have a lawyer, go to find a lawyer out there and just say, can I get one of your cards? All right. Make sure you got a library card and use it. And you can get a copy of the Constitution. Just get it from one of your books, your history books.
Facebook.
Networking.
Somebody just lost a whole lot of money. They just went public. And this is what I'm saying again about corporate America. Morgan Stanley, which was supposed to handle this thing, all these underground deals that were made before they went public. And they messed up on this damn board. So Facebook and the underwriters are being sued 4 or 5 times around the country.
Trayvon Martin.
Murder.
NBA playoffs.
San Antonio.
The players don't write the checks. They're not making the money. Michael Jordan is a joke. All right. Let me just say, just short. I don't know what you said.
No.
Let me just say this. In sports, you gotta really be careful about this. I never forget my son. Some commentators were commenting on how these black players are making all this money and so forth. They're gonna ruin the game and all this stuff. And so I asked my son a simple question: who write the checks? Not any of the players. And these players, for me, have become an embarrassment. Shaq, how many cars you got? About 25 cars. People in Haiti can't even eat a meal a day. These guys are not conscious. They're not culturally conscious. And so as far as I'm concerned, they're just another group of bad boys out there misusing their status. Now there are a few players, let's say 5 or 10. But for the most part, I don't care nothing about it, don't care nothing about the playoffs, because essentially it's not putting money in our pocket, in our community.
Can we expand on that and maybe we'll end with that and move on?
I think that, for me, when you mentioned some of the words that you mentioned, the reason why when you said hip hop, I said money, is because hip hop creates this vast amount of wealth. It's true that, the vast majority of it we don't own. And it's also true that when hip hop was created, that it was a vehicle by which we protested. It was a vehicle by which we learned. It was a vehicle by which we admonished. You had songs like The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. You had rappers like Chuck D from Public Enemy who used it as a means of protest. And when it became this negative thing, where you had, young black men calling young black women bitches and hoes, then it became mainstream, and it became something that the larger community grabbed hold of as a means of kind of protesting and rebelling against authority, just like rock and roll before it and other forms of music before it. But there is so much money there, and there is opportunity there. You know, I don't discourage young brothers when they say, oh, I want to be a rapper. Okay, you want to be a rapper? Learn about it from the business side, so you can own what it is that you create. You know, take it into the community and use it as a teaching tool. When we talk about Facebook and I said networking, it's because, you know, it creates an opportunity for you as young people who are growing up with this technology, growing up with these realities, to be able to take it and use it to not only build up yourself, but to build up your community. Where else can you get in contact with 1 million people without ever leaving your house? Use that, just look at the opportunities that it creates, and use your creativity. Because you're the people who created hip hop. You know, you're the people who created all of that culture around it. You should be the ones who benefit from it. And you have the mind and the talent and the creativity to do that. And so, you know, what I would challenge you to do is to use that to your benefit and to the benefit of your community. That's all.
Well, you know, I would agree with that, except it does not happen. Let me give you one example. Kanye West. Kanye West was, some of his early stuff, it was on it. Piece About Mama. Now, Donda West, his mother and I were colleagues at Chicago State. We were very close. Donda, as Kanye West's career took off, he moved to Hollywood. He had brought his mama home in Chicago, but she decided to move to Hollywood to help manage it. Well, what happened, Hollywood changed both of them. She went out to Hollywood and got involved in the youth culture. And she's a woman less than 10 years younger than I am. And she goes to get a tummy reduction and a breast reduction at the same time from an incompetent doctor, and she's dead. And the next thing you see, Kanye is sniffing after Kardashian woman. All right? He's nowhere near the community anymore. All right? This is not to invalidate your point. All I'm saying is, again, who you interact with and who you essentially sleeping with and who you're running with, that determines the direction you're going to go. All right? And so, again, we have to be understanding of the forces. See, once you get into serious money, you're not dealing with black folks anymore. I mean, Oprah Winfrey was in Chicago, all of her, I mean, we could never get any of our officers on this program.
I couldn't get on the air, so
you see, well, I don't feel bad about it at all. But all I'm saying is the gatekeepers, they got the gatekeepers around, and then another one.
Well, you know, I think that, you know, the point that I'm making is that there are possibilities as young people. And, you know, we are from other generations, right, that did not grow up with this technology and did not grow up with these possibilities. Racism is alive and well, but the color that matters more than anything else in our society is green. We live in a capitalist society, and there are opportunities for you. If you are creative, if you are innovative, if you are opportunistic, and you're willing to do the work, there are opportunities for you. You can make your own opportunities. I see it every day. You know, I see other people do it, and I believe that you can do it too, because you're smart, and you have that capability to do that.
I think that you're absolutely correct, but there's one problem, one major problem, and that problem is we are not organized. We're not organized. And let me give you one example. In World War II, the Jewish people were almost annihilated by Germans and Polish, all right, and a few others. I mean, almost, and therefore they were pushed out of Europe and they went into the Middle East or Northeast Africa and created Israel. from, you know, fighting, took it from the Palestinians, all right? But the Jewish people now, and there are only 6 million in this country, is probably one of the most powerful group of people in the nation. I don't care what the Jewish people do or their leadership, whatever they may or may not do, you're not going to get any criticism, not even from the person you deal with, okay? They're not going to criticize. It is not going to happen. Why? Because they are an organized, I mean, the American-Israeli pact is the most powerful pact in the country. In the country, you see. And when they say to tell the person to tap dance, don't tap dance. All right? And so I'm saying at one point, young brothers, you've got to understand that you've got to organize as a people, as a group of people, as a...
And that's the thing, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. But that's one of the things that I see us doing, but we do it around things that ultimately destroy us. Like, we're organized around a corner that we don't own, right? We're organized around a criminal enterprise. But we need to take those same skills, because we have those skills, and I see it in those enterprises. We can take those same skills from those enterprises and apply it to something legitimate and be millionaires, right? And so, you know, that's where the credentials come in. That's where taking all of the education that you've gotten from the various schools that you've gone to, from the neighborhoods that you've lived in, from the things that you've experienced, taking all of those things and using them in order to propel yourself, and then using them in order to propel your community.
Okay, but it has to start, so you see, that is not going to happen unless you are culturally conscious, loving yourself and loving those who look like you. So therefore, it starts at birth and works its way up. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, yeah, you can organize the block. You got brothers standing on corners and don't own the corners. They're paying rent. All right? So, you know, we agree at the level of organization, but you've got to be culturally conscious and saying that I'm not going to sell drugs to the people who look like me, that look like me, or anybody. All right? But if that's the only opportunity you have, that's what happens. That's why these jails are filled up now.
Based upon literacy, this idea of reading and writing, what are, as these brothers live today, what are 2 books that you suggest that they should read before they get out of high school? 2 texts that they should read.
Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, and Black Men, Obsolete, Single, Dangerous.
Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and Pipe Dream by Solomon Jones.
All right, thank you. Thank you guys for the time.